I don't expect many of you to appreciate the subtle science and exact art that is potion making. However, for those select few, I can teach you how to bewitch the mind and ensnare the senses. I can tell you how to bottle fame, brew glory, and even put a stopper in death.
Well, that potion is not in Minecraft, but there are plenty of others that are. Let's talk about it. Minecraft is a game with nearly unlimited possibility. It's about as open world as you can get. Explore, fight, gather, create. You can do whatever you choose to set your mind to. But the same things that make Minecraft great may also make it overwhelming, especially for newer players. And that's why this video exists. I can't tell you how to play, but I can help you discover what you can do to get you started, and for some more experienced players, maybe help you brush up on the basics. Welcome to Minecraft CavesNotes. Let's go ahead and mine right into today's topic. Hello and welcome to Minecraft CavesNotes. I'm Emerald Dragoon, and today I'll be your your Potions Master. I think we've had enough intro. The topic should be clear, so let's get right into how you can create your own magical brews. The first thing you'll need to start creating potions is a brewing stand. Brewing stands generate naturally in villages that have a temple building and act as the workstation for the cleric villager. So if you see one of those guys walking around, you know a brewing stand is nearby. They also generate in the secret room that can be found under some igloos, and they generate in end ships, which are a structure you can only find in the game's final dimension. You can also make your own brewing stand, but doing so requires that you have a blaze rod. If you do, the recipe is simple, just a line of 3 cobblestone with the blaze rod centered on top. But what if you don't have blaze rods? Then you'll need to take a trip to the Nether, since the only way to get them is to kill blazes. Check out the previous CavesNotes, number 21, for an overview of the Nether dimension. To actually begin brewing, you'll also need Nether Wart, which is also only found in the Nether. The most common way to get Nether Wart is to find it growing in nether fortresses in the interior portion of the structure. But it does also generate in some bastion remnants as well. Both structures can be pretty dangerous, so be on your toes and consider checking out the Nether overview if you haven't been yet. The good news is that you'll only need to gather the Nether Wart once, because as long as you bring some soul sand back with you from the Nether as well, you can grow it yourself. Nether Wart must be planted on soul sand, but does not require any water or light and grows pretty quickly in relation to other crops. Once you have a few of them, it's pretty easy to maintain your supply. To begin brewing, you'll need some specific items. The first is blaze powder. After crafting your brewing stand, any remaining blaze rods can be turned into blaze powder just by placing them into your crafting grid. You don't even need the crafting table for this conversion. You may choose to save some blaze rods in their original form, because they can also be used as a powerful furnace fuel, and in the future can be combined with an item from the end dimension to create a new light source. But for the moment, our focus is the powder. This is the only fuel that the brewing stand uses. Again though, there's some good news. Unlike the smelting function, brewing does not consume your fuel source completely when used. A single blaze powder item can be used for 20 brewing steps. The next important item you'll need is water bottles. Bottles can be crafted by placing 3 glass blocks in a V shape in the crafting table, much like you would make a bucket out of iron. 3 glass blocks will turn into 3 bottles, which is conveniently the number that the brewing stand can hold. But to use them in the brewing stand, they need to be filled with water. The most direct method to doing this is simply to use the empty bottle on any water source block. You can also fill them the same way from a cauldron, but each fill will remove 1/3 of the water from the cauldron, so ironically, it is more efficient to skip the cauldron and simply have a regular water source nearby. There are other ways to find water bottles, such as fishing them up as junk, bartering with piglins in the Nether, killing witches, or just reusing empty bottles after drinking a potion. With the fuel in place and the water bottles ready to receive their magic, the only thing left is to add potion ingredients. To a large degree, the actual order of adding ingredients is very flexible, but to keep things simple, I'll stick to the method that most players would probably consider standard. And for almost every potion, the first ingredient needed is Nether Wart. When you place the Nether Wart in the top slot of the brewing stand, a downward arrow and some bubbling icons will show the progress of the brew. To the left, a small bar shows the amount of powder remaining to fuel your brewing stand. When the brew finishes, all bottles in the stand will be converted at the same time. So unless you are specifically looking for less than 3 potions, it makes sense to always use 3 water bottles to maximize your output. A water bottle with Nether Wart brewed into it will produce an awkward potion. This doesn't do anything for you if you drink it. Instead, it's what we would call a base. It's now ready for the actual ingredient that will form your potion. The next ingredient you add will depend on what effect you are looking for. I'll go through the list pretty quickly, but I'll add a graphic at the end of the video you can pause over and look through if you need a reminder of specific ingredients. All of these are potions you can brew once you've made your awkward potions, but I'll go over an exception later on. Adding sugar to the ingredient slot will net you a potion of Swiftness, increasing your movement speed. While this does affect your movement on land, be advised that it does not affect your movement if you are riding another entity, such as a boat, minecart, or horse. Adding Rabbit's Foot will give you a leaping potion, increasing how high you can jump. This is probably one of the less used potion types, as the effect usually isn't enough of a difference to be too desirable. Blaze Powder is not only the fuel for the brewing stand, but will also create strength potions if used as an ingredient. Strength increases the damage you deal when attacking. A Ghast Tear will grant you a Regeneration potion, increasing your health recovery for a short time, while a Glistering Melon will create an instant health potion, which directly restores some hearts when consumed. Using a Pufferfish will make a potion of water breathing, allowing you to spend long periods underwater without needing to come up for air, which is useful for exploring any underwater structures you find and conducting archaeology at ocean ruins. Magma Cream is used to create fire resistance potions, which give you full immunity to fire and lava while active. This is incredibly beneficial for any return trips to the Nether. Adding a Spider Eye will create a potion of poison, which applies a damage effect over time and would need to be converted to a splash or lingering potion unless you actually want to poison yourself. Golden Carrots are needed for night vision potions. This is another potion that I don't often see used, but one exception may be exploring ancient cities, since it will allow you to skip the risky step of placing down torches to see your surroundings as you go. Just keep in mind that drinking the potion itself makes noise, so plan accordingly. Most people avoid allowing phantoms to spawn in their world, but defeating them is the only way to obtain phantom membranes, which can then be used to make slow-falling potions. These are best used in the End Dimension when fighting the Ender Dragon or dealing with shulkers in the End Cities, but could be handy if you ever wanted to descend safely down a mountainside or into a deep cavern. When under the slow-falling effect, fall speed is capped at a low rate, and you do not take fall damage. And if you really want a rare treat, you can distill a turtle shell into the brew to create the Potion of the Turtle Master, which will grant you a massive boost to your damage resistance at the cost of slowing your movement speed. But given how tedious it is to make a turtle shell helmet in the first place, I can confidently say I have never bothered to brew this potion in a survival world. Most of the potions we've discussed so far have positive status effects, but these can also be modified for offensive purposes as well. Additionally, the strength or duration of a potion can be increased, but only one or the other. And finally, potions can be modified into 2 thrown varieties, which you'll definitely want to do for offensive versions, but may sometimes be useful even for positive effects. Whatever potion you have created so far, if you leave it in the stand, you can add 1 or more additional ingredients that we'll call modifiers. The first modifier is my personal favorite, and it is Redstone Dust. Adding Redstone Dust will extend the duration of a potion. In most cases, a normal potion duration is 3 minutes long, but when extended, it lasts for 8 minutes. This applies to all of the potions we've discussed so far, except Regeneration, Slow Falling, Poison, and the instant effect of Healing. If you would like to make your potion stronger, you can add Glowstone Dust to get a level 2 potion, though the enhanced version will have half the duration of its normal version. This effect does not apply to water breathing, slow falling, night vision, or fire resistance. Again, you may use either Redstone Dust or Glowstone Dust, but not both. But if you'd like to modify your potion to throw it instead of drinking it, you have two other options, but likewise you'll only be able to choose one. The far more common modification is the Splash Potion, which creates an area of effect wherever the potion lands. The duration and strength of the effect depends on how close to the center of the splash an affected mob or player is. To modify your potions this way, you'll need to add Gunpowder. The other option is to add something called Dragon's Breath, which will create a lingering potion. Dragon's Breath will only modify a splash potion, so this is one step that does need to be done in a particular order, after adding your Gunpowder. Lingering potions work just like splash potions, but leave a temporary cloud of potion particles in the splash zone, just like the Ender Dragon's Breath attack. In fact, the only way to get Dragon's Breath is to use empty bottles on the dragon's lingering clouds during the fight, so making these types of potions is not very easy. So what about making those offensive potions? Well, if you have a spider eye, some sugar, and a brown mushroom, you can craft a fermented spider eye. This is a potion ingredient used to corrupt a potion to give it the opposite effect. As with other ingredients, it can actually be used at any stage of the process, and in fact is one of the exceptions I mentioned before. Unlike most other potions, a potion of weakness does not require Nether Wart at all, but can instead be brewed with just the fermented spider eye, although you'll probably want to follow that up with some gunpowder, unless you fancy giving yourself a weakness drink. For the other potions, the ingredient will change them as follows. Strength would become weakness. Now this is only on Bedrock Edition. It's not necessary to waste ingredients when this potion can be brewed directly. The weakness potion may be modified into an extended variety. Swiftness and leaping become slowness potions. The slowness potion may be extended or enhanced. Instant health or poison become instant damage or harming, which may only be enhanced but not extended. Additionally, there's another oddball one here, where corrupting a potion of night vision will not create a blindness potion, but instead give you invisibility. This reduces the range at which mobs will notice you, but it works best if you remove your armor when using it. For some reason, a suit of armor floating through the air seems to be suspicious or something. Invisibility can be extended, but not enhanced. The Tricky Trials update not only added trial chambers, but also 4 new potion recipes. These recipes do not require fermented spider eye, and can instead be brewed from the awkward potion base. Slime blocks make potions of Oozing, which cause mobs afflicted with the status to spawn 2 medium-sized slimes when they are defeated. The potion of Infestation is created by, somehow, distilling a block of stone into the mix. Mobs affected by this status have a chance of spawning silverfish when they take damage. Adding a breeze rod creates a potion of Wind Charging. The wind-charged status creates a gust of wind when a mob is defeated, knocking other mobs and players away. And finally, adding a cobweb will net you a potion of Weaving, which generates cobwebs around an enemy that is defeated while afflicted with the Weaving status effect. Currently, these final 4 potions cannot be extended or enhanced, and are not likely to be useful to the average player. They primarily exist to add a layer of difficulty to the trial chambers, but for some innovative players, they may be the starting point for specific farms to multiply certain resources. That's pretty much it for potion brewing, but there are a couple of final things worth mentioning. To drink a potion, hold down the use button while your potion is selected to drink it. Like eating, this takes a moment and has a drinking animation to go with it. To throw splash potions or lingering potions, just aim where you want and click or tap the use button. Potions do not stack in your inventory, so you won't be able to carry a ton of them around with you. Consider what kind of situation you're headed into and pack accordingly. Like I mentioned, some examples are water-breathing potions for underwater exploration, fire resistance in the Nether, slow falling in the End, night vision in an ancient city, and maybe strength and swiftness for a boss fight. When it comes to undead mobs like zombies and skeletons, potions of healing and regeneration will actually damage them, while potions of harming and poison will heal them. Keep this in mind when you're throwing around your concoctions. There are some ways to find potions without brewing them. If you manage to kill a witch while she's drinking a potion, it will drop as part of the loot. The same thing is actually possible with a wandering trader at sunset, if your timing is perfect. The brewing stands found in igloos and end ships have potions in them. Piglins in the Nether may give you fire resistance potions. And trial chambers may also reward you with potions in vault loot. There are other potions that exist in the game's code, but are not in use. For example, in Java Edition, map makers and data pack creators can use a Potion of Luck, which acts a bit like the Fishing Rod's Luck of the Sea enchantment to affect loot tables. In Bedrock Edition, a Potion of Decay is available in the Creative menu, allowing for an additional way to experience the Wither effect. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope you can use this information to boost your gameplay to the next level, and maybe feel more confident exploring places that were previously daunting. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video, and if you learned something new today, consider subscribing, because we're already over 20 episodes in, and there are still plenty of topics left to cover. Please drink responsibly, and as always, thank you for watching.